What's up, my peeps? Time for a brand new episode of WWE Mayhem, and in tonight's episode, actually, first off, if you guys missed the video that I posted up earlier, like a couple hours ago, go ahead and check it out. It's about the brand new WWE mobile game, WWE Universe. It's kind of like Mayhem, but as far as the graphics go, it's a more realistic version, kind of like the console game. So if you missed the video, the link will be in the description box. Anyways, as far as tonight's Mayhem episode, one of the questions that I tend to get a lot is, which superstars are the best superstars? Could you make a video on the best superstars for a certain class? So that's what I'm going to do in this episode. I'm going to go over the best superstars for every single class, but also, before I get to that, I want to go ahead and go over the brand new events, or more specifically, the brand new event that we got today, the Icons event. Now, this one's open to all, so the rewards are pretty minimal, like really minimal. 150 premium keys for Superstar, 100 for normal and beginner, 50. So, for this episode, I'll likely focus more on versus mode because, hey, it's time for me to rank up Steve Austin. So in the last episode, I got enough tier 4 dumbbells to rank him up. So we're going to do that tonight. We're going to do that actually right now. Looking at the cash though, 80,000 cash, man. That's gonna take a lot of cash. Well, hey, I gotta do it. I want to get Austin stronger, so let's go ahead and spend that 80,000 cash, and I'll no longer have any tier 4 dumbbells anymore. Let's do it, man. Rank up, and there we go. Austin has been ranked up to rank number 4, which is gonna help me out when it comes to versus mode. But actually, first off, I need to go ahead and level him up. Okay, so with all the materials that I've currently got, this is where Austin would be. 7,121 health and 713 power. Not even at level 40 with all of that. It would put him at 37 out of 40. It would cost 122,000, over 122,000 cash. It's gonna take away a lot of cash, but that's what the cash is for these superstars, to rank him up and level him up. So let's go. Level up Austin, and that's a big boost right there. So he is still my strongest superstar. So there we go, Austin at level 37. But 37, man, out of 40, that doesn't sound good. I'm gonna go ahead and get him to level 40, so let's go into the stash and let's go ahead and redeem all these materials that I've got. Alright, so I just came back from the stash. Now I'm ready to go ahead and max him out. Another 13,000 cash. Let's put that up, and there we go. Austin is now maxed out at rank number 4. So only one more rank to go, and for that I'll need 5 tier 4 dumbbells, 3 brawler tier 4s, and 2 advanced weight tier 1s. And now it's time to rank up Roman Reigns. Get him to rank number 2 because I've got the tier 3s and the powerhouse weights. Let's go, 25,000. This is the most amount of cash I've spent in the game in a single episode yet. Alright, so rank number 2, how about we go ahead and max him out too. Okay, so here's the thing, as you can see, I'm just 50 points away from, or 50 experience points away from level 20, except I've only got some gallons as materials right now, and I don't want to go ahead and waste one, which is 2,000, just to get him to level 20. So I'm just going to go ahead and get him to level 19 right now. I'm going to go back into the stash and pick up one of the 100 energy shots and then get him to level 20 that way. So let's go back into the stash and let's find that 100. There we go. We'll just claim this one and let's get back into this. Nope, wrong character. Let's get into Roman Reigns. Just one of these. And that's it. That's enough. 110. And man, I'm down to under 300,000 cash. Somebody asked a while back, hey, do you think you'll reach 1 million cash? Well, that's out the window at least anytime soon because of all the cash that I just spent right now on ranking up and maxing out both Roman and Steve Austin. Anyways, you'll see some versus tag team right now as I go ahead and go over the top superstar for every single class. I'd usually be playing events instead of versus mode in these episodes so I can get a loot case to open up. But in this case, the Icons event would give me a very, very tiny amount of loot case keys to the point where it wouldn't give me an extra loot case to open up for tonight's loot opening. So I will open up a premium case at the end of this episode, but it's not because of the Icons event, it's a case that I already had ready to go. So anyways, as you guys watch these matches, let me get started, and I'm going to start it off with the Showman class. Now keep in mind, For all these classes, the top superstar that I'm going to mention is going to be a 4-star superstar. Why? Because the 4 stars are the strongest superstars, of course, in the game, and chances are if that 4-star is the best superstar of its class, it's also going to apply to the lower tier version of that superstar, aka the 3-star and the 2-star versions. So let me go ahead and kick it off with the Showman class. And that class features superstars like John Cena, The Rock, HBK, and the best showman in the game in terms of health, power, strikes is John Cena. That's right, Cena is the top showman. He's got the most health, and he's also got the most power. He's got 4,125 health, and on top of that, 412.5 power. And let's not forget, John Cena's got the quick strikes. Now the thing is, most showmans, actually I think all showman superstars in the game have quick strikes, but John Cena's got them, and he's also got a lot of health and a lot of power. That's why Cena makes it to the #1 spot of showman superstars. The Rock is up there too, but he doesn't have as much health as Cena does. Now you'll notice for a couple of these classes, the #1 superstar is clear, just like in the showman class and a couple other classes, but there's some classes where the top superstar, it's a bit, more difficult to declare which is the top superstar of that class. I'll get to that in just a few moments. But anyways, next up is the high flyer class. The one that tops all the other high flyers in terms of health and power is, no doubt about it, AJ Styles. So Styles is the phenomenal one of the high flyers in the game. He's got 3,750 health and 375 power. Now, of course, compare that to John Cena, and AJ's gonna seem pretty weak because Cena's got more health and more power than him, but AJ's a high flyer. And high flyers in the game have the lowest health and also the lowest power. But also, since he's a high flyer, he actually gets a class bonus against John Cena, so John Cena's power would then be reduced, and on top of that, of course, AJ Styles' power would then be increased. So Styles is at the top of the high flyers list, which makes sense, seeing as how the other high flyers are Kalisto, Sami Zayn, one of the Usos. Moving on now to the Technician class. The top Technician, this one's really clear. It's Randy Orton. The Viper is the best technician in the game. He's got 4,125 health, so the exact same as John Cena, and when it comes to power, 412.5. So the exact same stats as John Cena when it comes to both health and power, which I think is fitting, seeing as how both Cena and Randy have this whole rivalry thing going on where they've traded wins. Randy's been John Cena, Cena's been Randy, although I'm pretty sure Cena's been Randy a lot more. But when it comes to Mayhem, they've got the exact same amount of health and the exact same amount of power, and they've both got the same strikes. Afterwards, we got the Powerhouse class, and when it comes to this class, this is where we start to, kind of have a debate, because the strongest powerhouse, the best powerhouse in terms of just pure stats, in terms of health and power, is without a doubt Goldberg. He's got 4,125 health and 450 power for the largest amount of power. He is the strongest superstar in the game, but that comes at a cost. And that cost is slow strikes. He's got the slow strikes. He's got those, powerhouse strikes. So he's not the quickest superstar to use when you're trying to strike, when you're trying to, use medium attacks more importantly. And that's where the debate comes in, because then the next strongest powerhouse in terms of stats is Roman Reigns, who's got the exact same amount of health, but instead of 450 power, he's got 412.5. So he's behind Goldberg in power, but he makes up for it by actually having the quick strikes, by being the only powerhouse in the game with the quick strikes. So that's where the debate comes in of, do you prefer the higher power at the cost of slow strikes, or do you prefer quicker strikes at the cost of lower power? If you ask me, I'd take Roman over Goldberg. If you ask me, Roman is the top powerhouse. But if we're just talking about pure stats, then of course Goldberg would win out. But here's the thing, even though Goldberg has more power, chances are if you're using Goldberg, you're going to be using more light attacks than medium attacks and of course light attacks inflict less damage than medium attacks, which is why, at the end of the day, I think Roman is the better powerhouse, and I would put him at number 1 when it comes to powerhouses. Next up is another one of these same cases, this time the Brawler class. We've got the Undertaker at the very top of the list with the highest amount of health in the game, period, which makes sense because it's the Undertaker who at WrestleMania would kick out a finisher after finisher after finisher. He's got 4,500 health and 412.5 power, so a lot of health and a good amount of power, a lot of power too. And then you've got Austin, who's got less health. He's got 4,125 and 412.5 power. So Austin's got less health. So why is he on this list? Well, the Undertaker's got the same problem as Austin. He's also got the slow strikes. So once again here, there's a whole preference thing. Do you prefer, the larger amount of health, 4,500, or a little less health with Austin, 4,125, but the exact same amount of power, and instead you get the quick strikes? If you ask me, once again, I would go with the quick strikes. I'd go with Austin and sacrifice a little bit of extra health that Taker gets. So for me, Austin would make the top of the Brawler list. And finally, the wildcard class. Now this is kind of a wild card, just like, the name implies. Because you've got a couple superstars here that I think qualify for, the top wildcard superstar. And those are Mankind, Flair, and Sting. Because here's the thing, Mankind, just like The Undertaker, he's got the most amount of health out of any superstars in the game, 4,500. So him and Taker, they've got the most health. And as far as his power though, it's only 300, so very little power when it comes to Mankind, but a lot of health. More than anybody else except for The Undertaker. They're tied when it comes to that. And then you've got Ric Flair. Ric Flair has less health, 4,125, but he's got more power, 375. And then you've got Sting, who's got even less health than Flair, 3,750 health, but 412 power, or 412.5, which is stronger than both Flair and Mankind. And of course, Sting, Flair, and Mankind, they've all got some quick strikes. Kane has the exact same stats as Sting, but he's got the slow strikes. That's why I'm leaving him out of this, because Sting has the exact same, health and power, but with the quick strikes. So in a case like that, obviously, to me, Sting is superior to Kane. So Mankind, Flair, and Sting, all good wildcard superstars. If you ask me, I would go ahead and put Flair at the very top of the list. Not just because I've got Flair, but because Flair's got a nice balance. He's got health in between Mankind and Sting, 4,125, and his power is also in between. He's got more power than Mankind, but less power than Sting. So I think overall, Flair would be the best wildcard. And with that said, and now it's time for the loot opening. And since I've only got really one important case, and that is the premium case, I'll just go ahead and open it all for all the cases, including the premium one. And we get Batista for the first time, finally, for the longest time, or since Batista got introduced, I've been trying to get Batista, and I finally got him. That's awesome. And it took an open all loot case opening to get him. I just had to go ahead and use Batista before ending the episode. Finally got him after so long, of just hoping I'd get Batista, so I just had to go into a versus match before ending the episode and hit both of his finishers. We hit the Power Slam, and next up is going to be the Batista Bomb. Perfect, we got the Batista Bomb. Now to just wait until he gets done. Alright, he's done. Time for the Batista Bomb. The Power Slam was up first, now the Batista Bomb. Both finishers got hit. So happy that I finally got Batista. Let's take out Mankind. 1, 2, and 3. And with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button down below, and I'm out. See ya.